There's something burning inside every single legendary limited partner. It's not luck, it's not some secret handshake or a fancy spreadsheet. It's a raw, relentless fire that pushes them beyond what anyone else thinks is possible. You might be sitting there feeling stuck, watching deals float by, seeing others win, wondering why you aren't. No matter how much experience you stack, there's always that gnawing question. What makes the difference? What's the real thing that separates the ones who keep breaking ceilings from the ones who settle, watch, and wait? Let's strip it down to the core. The one trait all legendary limited partners share is the guts to see beyond the surface, to stare directly at uncertainty and lean into it, without flinching. This isn't some generic have courage pep talk. It's about an obsession with truth in a sea of noise, a refusal to be fooled by fancy decks or slick presentations, and a deadly sharp focus on what actually moves the needle. While everyone else is chasing trends, metrics, or the next shiny startup, the real legends are hunting essence. They see the hum, the pulse beneath the chaos. They know when something's alive and when it's just a beautiful lie. Imagine the crippling frustration of being around so many pitches, so many promises, only to feel like every single one walks the same worn path. It's exhausting, right? Like you're swimming in the same shallow pool, drained by constant noise and empty hope. You start questioning the whole game, wondering if your edge is gone, or worse, if you ever had one. You hate that feeling. You hate watching others claim the wins while you're stuck paralyzed. But here's the brutal truth. This paralyzing loop is what traps most limited partners forever. They settle for surface-level comfort because diving deeper means risking everything. The risk of being wrong, the risk of losing, the risk of standing alone. But legends? They don't run from that risk. They embrace it like a lifeline. So how do they do it? How do they stare down uncertainty without blink? It starts by destroying the idea that knowledge equals safety. The biggest trap is thinking that more data, more due diligence, more spreadsheets somehow makes you bulletproof. It doesn't. In fact, it does the opposite. It creates a false sense of certainty that kills instinct. Legendary limited partners are lean on data, heavy on intuition, forged by brutal, real-world experience. They learn to read between the lines, not just what's presented, but what's whispered, what's missing, what's desperately hidden. This trait, this gift, is not something you stumble upon. It's forged by wrestling with failure, by embracing discomfort, by refusing to be comforted by the superficial rules everyone else blindly follows. It's endlessly asking the uncomfortable questions no one else dares ask, and then sitting with the answers no one else wants to face. This is exhaustion and pain turned into power. This is being the lone wolf, the skeptic, the eternal outsider who refuses to settle for mediocre explanations or easy victories. And here's the real, heart-pounding beauty of it. This trait is contagious. When you build that kind of seeing, that kind of knowing, it changes the way you invest. No longer do you feel like a spectator or a gambler. You become the force that shifts landscapes. You don't just pick winners, you shape them. You become the partner founders crave and the gatekeeper that filters real innovation from mere hype. Your reputation becomes a magnet and a sword. But it's not just about what you do with money or deals. It's how you live every day, how you show up when no one's watching, how you react to bad news, how you celebrate the tiny victories that the world often misses. Legendary limited partners have mastered the balance between fierce skepticism and dealer's optimism. They don't hope for change, they build it by refusing to sleep on possibilities. They don't wait for opportunities to find them. They create opportunities from chaos. They don't settle for easier paths. They carve new ones, fueled by a quiet, stubborn fire that the average eye can't see. If you feel weighed down by the noise, overwhelmed by data, or frustrated that everyone else seems to have an insider's key you don't, It's because the simple truth is hiding in plain sight. You have to stop drowning in what's safe and start surfing on what's real. Real isn't clean or predictable. It's jagged and damn hard. Real means losing sometimes. Real means being the only person in the room willing to say, "This isn't good enough." Real means trusting your own verdict above the crowd's applause or criticism. Here's a secret. Most limited partners don't understand that their greatest asset is the liberation of their own judgment. It's the ability to say no endlessly, not just to hit yes more often. Because every deal you reject with clarity builds the foundation for the few you accept that turn into legends. It's not madness. It's selective insistence on quality and truth. This is why legendary limited partners often seem ruthless. They're not reckless. They're committed to clarity in an ocean of chaos. You might be thinking, but what about all the information, the analysis, the teams? They matter, yes, but only as tools, not as crutches. When the market shifts or the unexpected hits, analysis only gets you so far. What pulls people through is that deeply rooted trait, the courage to reframe every assumption, rewire every pattern, and risk blowing up everything you thought you knew. Legendary limited partners don't just adapt, they redefine the rules while everyone else is scrambling to keep up. And this is why the trait is singular, simple, and absolutely revolutionary. It's not charm, not connections, not capital. It's relentless clarity combined with radical courage, the kind that forces you to step off the edge when the cliff looks uncertain, to bet on what others dismiss, to hold space for the improbable. This trait doesn't just change outcomes, it changes how others see you and how you see yourself. It's what moves you from passive observer to vital force, the kind who doesn't just benefit from the future but makes the future. Every choice turns into a statement of belief, every action a declaration of independence. And suddenly, your network isn't just names, it's warriors you trust, partners who burn with the same light, eyes on the same distant horizon. But it's not easy. If it were, everyone would have it. Legends earn this trait through countless nights of questioning themselves, rejecting comfortable illusions, and learning to rely only on what they can own inside themselves. This means ruthless self-awareness. It means knocking down ego walls dressed in confidence and asking, what am I missing right now? What's the real story? It means standing alone more times than you can count, simply because no one else is willing to. And that's the real edge, a willingness to be unhappily different. To be the one nodding no while the room screams yes. To be the one who bets against the tide not for rebellion, but for an unshakable belief in what could be. So if that itch keeps coming back, that restless tension deep inside you telling you there's more to see, more to fight for, more to become, listen to it. Don't silence it. That's your invitation to unlock what legendary limited partners already know. Not through playing it safe, not through mingling in crowds, but through claiming your own power to cut through the fog, to question, to transform, and above all, to become the person who doesn't just invest in the future, but ignites it. This is the trait that sets apart the few who don't just survive the chaos, but thrive in it. The ones who feel the pain but refuse to be broken by it. The ones who know failure isn't an end but a weapon if wielded right. The ones who stare into the abyss and choose to build light. This is their secret. This is their soul. It's yours too, if you dare to take it, to look harder, to dig deeper. To trust your gut even when everyone else doesn't. To say no clearly and yes decisively. To burn not with desperation, but with fierce intention. When you live this way, every deal becomes a story. Every handshake, a pact of fire. Every step forward, a revolution. What you're watching right now isn't just a reminder, it's a call. To stop waiting, to stop settling, to stop playing by others' rules. This trait isn't a luxury. It's survival. It's breakthrough. It's the only way out of the blind maze into the open sky. You already have it inside you. Now it's time to set it free.